Hello everyone, this is Nicholas. So today I'm gonna tell you a true story how I sold my 14-month-old Tesla Model 3 to CarMax for a profit. I know this sounds too good to be true, but I'm gonna break down all the numbers to you so that you can see clearly not only that I drove my Tesla Model 3 for free for more than 1 year, but I made more than $1,300 profit by selling it to CarMax. I actually did a Tesla Model 3 review video last year, so you can check it out through the link on your upper left hand side or at the end of this video. Without further ado, let me just go ahead and tell you the story. As many of you have already read from the news, the sales price of used cars have been skyrocketed in the last couple months because of the shortage of computer chips. Due to supply and demand, because the supply of new cars cannot meet the market demand, so some car buyers turn to the used car market, which drive up the used car price. The used car price is so high that it actually skewed the CPI last month, the Consumer Price Index. In fact, all these indexes are actually lagging indicators, because the used car price has been increasing ever since last year. For the fact that I was able to sell my used Tesla Model 3 to CarMax in June 2020 for a profit. So let me begin from the moment when I decided to buy a Tesla Model 3 in 2019 so that you can have the complete picture. When Elon Musk unveiled the Tesla Model 3 in March 2016, he promised that the base model would start at $35,000. The audience cheered like he was Jesus reborn. Many people wet their panties that night while others had doubt whether he was able to deliver it or not. Well, he didn't break his promise, but he didn't make it easy for people to get one neither. When the base model, which is named the standard range model, was finally available for purchase, it was already 2019, 3 years after we first saw it. In order to avoid building a different manufacturer line for the standard range model, Elon Musk decided to sell the more expensive Standard Plus model as the $35,000 base model, but using software to lock certain features, such as 20% of the battery capacity. In order to strike a balance between his promise and Tesla's profitability, sneaky Elon Musk removed the standard range model from Tesla's official website, making it an off-menu item. An action that totally contradicts Tesla's business value to make the car purchase process as painless as possible. The only way that you can buy the $35,000 standard range model is to either visit a Tesla store in person or call them. It's not that I didn't have the extra few grand to upgrade to the Standard Plus model, but I'm a stingy cheap ass who was determined to get the standard range model. The small hurdle that cunning Elon Musk put in front of me was not going to stop me from getting one. I would cross the Red Sea if I had to. The entire purchasing process through the phone was much smoother than I thought. It took less than 15 minutes during my after-lunch walk. The Tesla online sales agent was very helpful as well. He clarified to me that per Tesla standard protocol, my order would be processed as the more expensive Standard Plus model with autopilot, and there would be a two-step process to downgrade it to the base model. First, by removing the autopilot, then the partial premium interior features. It would take approximately 1 week to complete the process. I gave him my credit card info for the $2,500 deposit and thanks for his help. After about 3 weeks, I received a call from Tesla saying that my vehicle was ready for pickup. Since I chose to pay in full, I had to wire the full amount minus the $2,500 deposit prior to picking it up. Together with the sales tax, the registration fees, the destination fee, which I call it the whip-off fee, the Tesla Model 3 set me back by about $40,000, despite the $35,000 sticker price. As you can see from this screenshot, my initial out-of-pocket cost is $40,401.50. Because I bought my Tesla Model 3 in April 2019 and took delivery in May 2019, my vehicle was qualified for 3 different electric vehicle EV rebate programs. The first one was the federal EV tax credit. The full amount of this program is $7,500 for anyone who is purchasing a qualified electric vehicle, but begin to phase out once a manufacturer has sold 200,000 qualifying vehicles in the US. Because Tesla sold its 200,000th EV in July 2018, my Tesla Model 3 was only qualified for $3,750 because of the phasing out. The second rebate program was the Clean Vehicle Rebate Project, CVRP, from California, which offers $2,000 in rebates for the purchase or lease of a new eligible electric vehicle. Unlike the federal credit, there is no cap for manufacturers on vehicle sales number, so I was qualified to get the full amount. The third rebate program was the Clean Fuel Reward Program, CFRP, from Southern California Edison, which offers $1,000 rebate for the purchase or lease of any new or used electric vehicle. The caveat is that your vehicle's current registration has to be a Southern California Edison residential service address. If your service provider is Department of Water and Power (DWP), then you're out of luck. Fortunately, mine is the former. So adding all these rebates together, the total amount that I received is $6,750. The pandemic hit Los Angeles in late January last year. On March 15, 2020, our office implemented the work from home policy. Between March and June, I drove less than 200 miles per month, yet I still had to pay for the monthly parking in my apartment, the car insurance, the vehicle registration fee. On average, I spent more than $200 per month for a fully paid-off car but barely driven one. Without a clue when this pandemic would end, I started asking myself, does it even make any financial sense to own a car now? The pandemic has fundamentally changed the way I work as well as the way I live. It decouples myself physically from the office. When the second wave of the pandemic came to Los Angeles, I decided to leave Los Angeles temporarily. So I submitted a request to my company in June to let me work remotely from my hometown, Hong Kong. When my request was finally approved by my direct supervisor and our IT department, I knew that I had to sell my Tesla Model 3 so that I would have one less thing to worry about. I started the process by calling Tesla's sales center in Marina del Rey, where I picked up my Tesla Model 3 in 2019. The salesperson told me that the fair market value of my used Tesla Model 3 was around $27,300. However, Tesla Sales Center only do trade-in. They don't buy back used cars, even if it is a Tesla. So I had to explore other options. Another option that I had in mind was to put an ad on Craigslist to sell it to a private party. However, since the pandemic situation was pretty bad in Los Angeles, meeting strangers in a confined space for a test drive was the last thing that I would want to do. My last option was CarMax. CarMax is America's largest used car retailer and a Fortune 500 company. It is a business exists to make money. No doubt it pays less compared to selling it to a private party. But since I sold 2 used cars to it before, I felt pretty comfortable going with CarMax because I understand their entire process. It was a beautiful Sunday afternoon, just like any other afternoon in Los Angeles. I drove to the CarMax store in Redondo Beach. I randomly parked at one of the parking spots and walked inside. I told the guy at the front desk that I was there to get a quote. Within a minute, a CarMax lady came out to greet me, asking me to pull my car to the designated inspection spot in front of the entrance. I waited next to my Tesla Model 3 for about 10 minutes, and an inspection specialist came. He spent about 10 minutes taking pictures of my car, doing visual inspections, and filling out some forms. After he was done, he told me that the quote should be ready in 15 minutes. When the CarMax lady came back and presented the quote on a letter-sized paper, I couldn't believe my eyes. It must be the side effect of my LASIK surgery from the year before, I thought. But it clearly showed $35,000, the exact same amount when I bought it 14 months ago. I really wish someone would have taken a picture of me at that moment so that I can see my twisted facial expressions. Everything looks fine except some pet odor in your car. Here is the quote and it is good for 7 days, she said when she handed me the paper. I really wanted to sell my car on the spot, but first of all, I didn't bring my title certificate. Second, my Tesla was packed with all my personal items, so I had no choice but to go home and come back again. The number seems reasonable. Let me think about that. Thanks, I said and then drove off, trying my best to conceal my exhilarations. The next day, I took a few hours off from work to wash my car from top to bottom to make sure it looked spotless. I made sure that the EV charger that came with the car was in the trunk. It looks exactly like when I first picked it up in 2019 in Marina del Rey, minus the new car smell. I double-checked that I had 2 key cards, the title certificate, the current vehicle registration, and my driver license before I drove to CarMax. Hi there, I got a quote yesterday, and I'm here to sell my car. I told the same guy at the front desk and showed him the quote that I got from the day before. He told me to go straight to the office at the back after the door on my right. The CarMax lady at the back office made sure that I brought everything as requested on the quote, and asked me to wait outside next to my car. The process was almost identical to the one from the day before, except this time CarMax sent 2 inspection specialists instead of 1. Obviously, neither of them were Tesla experts because they kept asking me how to navigate the central console to access the vehicle data. Just wait here, someone will be with you in a moment, one of them told me after they finished doing what they were paid to do. A moment turned into almost an hour-long wait in the hot CarMax parking lot. Suddenly the California sunshine didn't look as attractive as it used to be. I was like, shit, they must have found out that they made a mistake. While I was anxious like hell, the CarMax lady showed up from nowhere and scared the fuck out of me. Mr. Chen, sorry for the wait. Please follow me inside, she said. I followed her like a lost puppy into her cubicle on the main floor. She pulled out my title certificate and said, all you need to do is just sign here to transfer your title to us. I did what she asked, and then she just vanished into thin air again. The CarMax lady reappeared after 5 minutes. That's the longest 5 minutes wait in my entire life. When she handed me the check, I wanted to hug her so hard, but intimidated by the thought that I might end up in jail before noon, so I resisted the urge. That's the check with the most zeros that I've ever held in my entire life. It clearly showed $35,000 no matter how many times I rubbed my eyes. Thank you very much for doing business with CarMax, Mr. Chen, she said with a sincere smile. If I recall correctly, there was a halo on top of her head. Absolutely, appreciate your help, I replied with the best poker face that I could possibly put on. As soon as I left CarMax, I ran like Usain Bolt towards the Bank of America branch across the street, at the same time peeked at my back every now and then to check whether there was any CarMax security guy coming after me. Luckily, there was none. My profit is equal to the sum of the generous check from CarMax and the rebate money that I received from the 3 different entities, minus my initial out-of-pocket costs for the brand new Tesla Model 3. If you do the maths, you'll find that my profit is equal to $1,348.50. Although the used car price has been skyrocketed for almost a year, I still haven't heard anyone who sold their used Tesla for a profit other than myself. I searched online and I couldn't find anything neither, so I decided to do a YouTube video and tell you about it. I'm not sure whether this is a single incident or a systematic error from CarMax. The reality is, even if it was a mistake, as a reputable company, CarMax still had to honor the quote and own the mistake. There is no recourse for CarMax to ask me for a refund. If you are thinking about selling your Tesla Model 3 to go carless like me, or considering trading up for a more premium model, I hope this video helps. It doesn't hurt to get a few more non-obligation quotes if you decided to sell. After all, who doesn't want to have a few more bucks in the pocket in the middle of the pandemic? Lastly, if you are getting any value from this video, even if it's just a tiny bit, can you do me a favor and smash the like button below? Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.